Hello, good evening, and welcome to RSF1's Tier 2 division. We are here for round number 15? 14, 15? 15. It's round 15 of the season. We are here. It is Monza, a very popular track in the league racing community. The Festival of Speed. See a lot of, well, a lot of high-speed action coming for this. It's one of the shortest Grand Prix. Blink and you miss it, basically. But should be plenty of action, plenty of overtakes as well. But also you've got some deadly chicanes, some curbs, and some lovely, lovely track limits. So yeah, should be a very entertaining Grand Prix. I'm RSF1 Rubens, also known as Michael. You know me by now. You know my voice. One voice you might not be familiar with, unless he's on the podium, which he's done quite a bit this season, actually, in the F4 division, is XRL Cornish.
Good evening, Rubens. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing very well, actually. Yeah, as I said, we've only heard your voice in the in the podium.
Yeah, a couple times. My season finally is starting to formulate into some kind of success after my horrendous start. But I'm looking forward to tonight's race. I've not watched a lot of Division 2, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. I recognise a lot of the names in here, and looking forward to some hopefully close battles.
Yes, and sunny skies for the moment, anyway. For this track, Monza. What can we say about Monza, Cornish? Is it a track that you like?
Historically, actually, no. I've never gone very well around here, but in terms of the track, it's incredibly fast. Known as the land of speed. This will be the fastest track that we come to. Lots of slipstreaming. It'll be interesting to see if there's any, teamwork going on during this qualifying session, helping people get some slipstream in. I don't know if anyone's worked on that. I'll be trying to keep an eye out for that.
I haven't really seen a lot of that this season, to be honest, Cornish. I've only seen like one or two teams out of every division.
Right. Okay.
Really don't get it, to be honest. I was going to say at 126. There we go. 119.2 from Caesar Wizard sets the first lap in the Alfa Romeo. Of course, got two Italian teams here. Of course, on board one of them now, Milan, who's just crossed the line to begin a lap. And of course, you've got the Alfa Romeos as well. But we've only got one Ferrari Cornish all by himself, as Centurion beats his teammate by 4 thousandths.
These are some good, solid laps for Q1.
Welcome to F2, Cornish.
I've actually not been able to get any practice with myself in. I've done one session, but for a solid start.
AlphaTauri. Oh god, I've been corrected by Raikkonen.
Uh-oh.
Someone slapped me on the wrist. Oh my god, that's terrible. Yes, Monza. Obviously, massive track. Oh, there's a McLaren off. Is that Shrimper? That is. Oh god, he's backwards at the edge of a sky. That's dangerous. Get going though. You want to get going in a bit. Come on. There we go. Breezy's just beating the two Alfa Romeos.
Milan is about to come across him. Is he out of the way in time? Yeah, he's out of the way. It's all good.
Just. Bit of a dodgy moment for Shrimper. Obviously, welcome back to RSF1. Obviously, I'm hearing that his chemotherapy is working well, as I said last week. So that's great news to hear, isn't it, Cornish?
That's absolutely fantastic news. I'm glad it's going well, and hopefully it just keeps on getting better, mate. And your recovery is only smooth from now on, mate.
Most definitely. Yeah, if we're talking about track Monza, obviously, in some ways, actually, how I describe this track is the easiest to learn. Like, for example, if you're going to teach like a little brother or even a little sister, like, this is how you play F1. This is probably like the first track you probably give them, I guess, because it's like a straight corner.
Yeah, easy to remember. There's not much difference around here, is there? It's probably the quickest track to memorise. But to master it is a whole nother beast.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I was going to say, it's to be quick around here, you really need to push the two words that I love this season, track limits.
You and me both, mate. You and me both. I think I ended up with 18 seconds of penalties around Spa last week, so I'm not looking forward to this week.
No. This is not my actually worst track. Mexico is my worst track, as people know. But
yeah, I got disqualified there last season as well.
Yeah, finding the right line around here, especially through Ascari on board a Hardy just now. You can lose the car so easily as Milan tops the session at 19-0. Almost pushing on to 18s already, Cornish. These guys are flying.
Pre-Doubts, newcomer to the division, if I'm correct. He's just started his lap. I've actually raced against him a good few months ago on a different league. And what I can tell you about him is he is, on his day, incredibly quick. I find during traffic he can sometimes get a little frustrated from what I've seen. But if he settles down, and it's been a few months since I've seen him, so if he settled down, you're in for a treat. He's a quick driver.
Definitely looks a stable lap so far on board of him. Good evening to Toxic CW in the chat, Raikkonen as well. 13 viewers at the moment, but that will boost up by the race, it always does.
Pre-Doubts went through Ascari, beautifully judged. This is looking like a solid lap.
Yep, and coming into the final corner, Parabolica chucked the car in. Nicely done from Brett.
Yeah, lovely.
Nicely done from Predux. This should put him top. It's an 18.8, yeah.
Wow, what a lap.
So you're right. Yeah, so you're saying about Monza as well. The chicanes and everything. The thing is about the chicanes as well is that the curbs as well, Cornish, they just throw the car so easily if you just hit them wrong. But to be quick around here, you need to use them and, well, go over them, especially the first chicane as well. If you get the line right, you're on for a good lap.
Yeah, from my little bit of practice, I found in the first chicane that the first turn in, you need to take the whole curb, and then almost just nip the second one, the second apex, and that seems to get you the best exit down onto the to the curves.
Right, championship standings. I'm just going to go through them a little bit. I'll give you a little rundown as well, Cornish, as we go through, as well as the viewers. As well as the fact that we have just announced, thanks to Raikkonen, we are having a race of champions at the end of the season. So, almost like football, these drivers want to get into the Champions League spots, the top 4.
I'm very much looking forward to it. Hopefully I can stay in the top 4, that's my goal. But from the little bit I've heard about it, it sounds like it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
It should be. It's like the one last hurrah on this game, I guess, because I know we've had its issues, but it's been a solid-ish game, I guess. I'm trying to give it some sort of credit. It's not been brilliant, but you know, it's one of the things. Plus, yeah, it's a little bit of relaxed competitiveness, shall we say? You know, people are obviously going to be a little bit laid back, but also people want to win because we're all competitive people. We're so very competitive people. So, yeah, it should be fun. Yeah, top 4 in the championship. It gives like people that are not necessarily going to win the championship a chance to, you know, get into there, have some notoriety. Because I would assume we're going to get a lot of viewers for that race as well at the end of it if we advertise well, of course, the Twitter and everything. So, yeah, good stuff. So
yeah, it also brings, in my opinion, it brings an extra bit of spice to other divisions, like Division 4, for example, where the championship is so close. It's just going to give that extra incentive for everyone else to catch in. I think that's going to be the division to watch for the qualification for it.
I don't know how a lot of Sparks got away with that. Had a massive slide at the exit at Ascari. Surprised he kept it valid, actually, because I was off the track. Sorry, the championship so far. So, Muddy Biscuit leading the way in the McLaren, 204 points. He is gradually being caught by Lukey, although he still has a 23-point gap. Lukey on 181. As I said, Lukey last couple of races has beaten Muddy Biscuit. He needs, obviously, to continue that. And I think he's capable of doing so, but it needs to be more. But the problem is, Muddy Biscuit, as we all know and love in F2, is he's very, very consistent. Always sticks around the race. Rarely gets penalties. And at a place like this, Cornish, that's a valuable asset to have from a Muddy Biscuit. So really for Lukey, 23 points at this stage is not completely out of it, is he, Cornish? But
100% not. There's still 250 glorious points to come, including
yeah,
this race. So plenty of opportunity for a bit of to and froing.
yeah. So, but yeah, he has to beat Money Biscuit. That's the only thing. He has a target. He's got to beat him. Behind them is Milan, FFR Milan on 138 points. He's not completely out of it either. Obviously needs some wins and some good solid podiums ahead of the other two in front of him to get back in it. But as we know, one big result, whereas his rivals behind, and that's all it takes. And currently he's on pace again, so that's good.
Draco just really lost it out
You
of
saw
the
that.
Ascara chicane. Really pushing
Draco
it to try and get
being
qualified here.
Yeah, Draco being last week's winner in Belgium. Very well-deserved victory, actually.
He doesn't have much fuel, so I imagine he's going to have to roll into the pits. His fuel light is on anyway. Wow.
Yeah, he's going to finish to that.
Wow. Considering how much time he lost there from that catch, that is an impressive lap time.
Matches Muddy Biscuit to the 1000th as well. Very good lap. Very close in the top of this F2 division. Already in Q1, bodes very well. Steffi, Weffy Gamer, in the Red Bull is next on 105 points. Then bit of a get back to Dangerous Dan. Now, welcome back, Dangerous Dan, because he's not raced for the last couple of weeks. I've been wondering where he was. But he's fine. He's fine, and so on and so forth. Because of the 2 weeks he's missed, he's probably out of the championship contention. But as we mentioned, can get into that top 4 spot. So, or maybe solidify 5th as maybe as a reserve spot. So, still got something to work for there. Next up is Hudson on 67, 2 points ahead of Draco, who has just leapt up in the last few weeks on 65. Then we've got Breezy and Wizard on 59, ahead of Sparks on 58. Magic Marks on 43 is a point ahead of Centurion, and I've just seen Grunty on the exit of Ascari just lose it there. He's into the wall, and
that's
because we have 16, he's the one and only eliminated from Q1.
Caesar Wizard has been on a lovely lap here. I've just been on board the whole way through. Nothing, and he's pulled into the pits. Okay.
Everyone's safe now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the trigger point. That is real shame for Grunty, isn't? And that's the thing. The one and only driver eliminated from Q1 Cornish. He's now got to wait a full half an hour or so before he can actually drive that car again.
I would go and do something else, mate. Or so you load up TikTok on your phone or something. It's hard luck, mate.
All right. After Magic Marks 43, Centurion on 42. Then it's Alfie on 33, ahead of Hardy on 24, Storage on 10, Shrimper on 7, Grunty on 4, and Evo, 2 points. And I say that with enthusiasm because he actually got his first points Cornish last time out in Belgium.
Fantastic.
2 points. Yeah. I was very much happy for him. He's not for lack of trying, trying to get some points on the board, but yeah, I'm very, very happy he's got that. As he now move into Q2.
What's the situation looking like in the constructors then? Any close battles there?
Yes, very much so. McLaren, because obviously you got Muddy and Lukey challenging the drivers, you got the two teams they drive for on McLaren and Racing Point. 8 points apart at the top of the table. McLaren on 251 and Racing Point 243. Both Muddy and Lukey haven't really had consistent teammates. They've had like 3 or 4 different teammates between them. But as Muddy obviously has got Shrimper and Lukey has Grunty, both can maybe assist in the constructors winning between those two teams. Alfa Romeo is next on 188. Red Bull close behind on 175, and they're kind of the team in form. They could even catch the top 2 if they keep on going, because they've had a few podiums last few weeks. Ferrari's 148, then it's AlphaTauri 105. Williams have jumped Mercedes 95 to Mercedes 87. Renault 69 and Haas on 58. Right,
Steffi is
Q2.
the first driver out onto the track, coming out on the soft. I imagine most people probably will go through onto the softs. I feel like the mediums are just going to be that too slow here, especially with how close the times were in Q1.
Yeah. The only guys I see different is Sparks and Mark at the moment. Oh, and Lukey, who keeps on yeah.
Maybe he's trying to tell us there's rain inbound, although the skies are looking pretty blue, so I doubt.
You know what that is? That's attention. That is. He wants a little bit of attention, and he's got it. We took the bait, Cornish. There you are. Yeah, strategy. Simple one stop, isn't it? Unless obviously a safety car.
Which, to be fair, there's probably a strong possibility, especially with this first lap, first corner. I'm imagining we'll see at least one safety car tonight.
Yep. Yeah, two stop. Just leaves far too much time around here. It's one of those things that the tyre wear isn't that high either, because obviously the lack of corners. Not many corners around here, so and there's only 8 actually in total. I think only I think it's a few less than Austria. But in terms of a lap, I'll take you on board Steffi Weffy Gamer as he crosses the start-finish line as he heads down to turn 1, the Variante del Rettifiglio. My Italian isn't great, but that's my best attempt. Down into turn 1 and 2, clips the first curve very harshly. Manages to gather it all together, but he would have lost time there as he heads through Curva Grande to the second chicane, which is the Variante del Foggia. It's had its very contentious moments in the past. Very difficult to filter 2 cars through there, real life and in league racing. First Lesmo, turn the car in and into the second Lesmo. Get the exit nicely, just about. And then we head to a corner, obviously, that we all know and some of us hate, including myself, is the Ascari corner. Which, that's the reason why, because it's so easy to go over the white line just by a little bit and cut the corner. And of course the last corner, as we also know, is Parabolica. But as we can see there, Cornish, it's so very easy to mess up through that corner.
100%. Shrimper just behind him had to lift off coming through the exit of Ascari. Apart from that, his lap was pretty solid. So this might just be enough to get him through. Well, and he's gone into the pits. Nope. They've got a habit of doing that when I get on board with them.
Psych. Not doing a lap. I think Hardy's going to be the first one, although he has a Haas and his slipstream up behind. It's produced an 18.8 again.
Wow. Consistency.
Match this time from Q1. Nice,
Muddy Biscuit is the next one, coming around the Parabolica. Lovely exit. Does he keep it in tight? Yes, he does. And yeah, finally, someone that's not got into the pits crosses the line with the 19.1, a decent lap time.
By the looks of it, you're going to have to get into the 18s to challenge for pole by the looks of it. If Padutz can do that in Q1 and 2, imagine when the track rubber's in, he'll be well into the 18s.
Milan the closest so far to him with a 19 dead.
Easy in 19.5. Cut off, I'd say.
Steffi's invalidated again.
And that's not good, because the thing is, when you cut, I would know, when you cut one lap Cornish, it sometimes can get to your head, and then you do it again, and then you do it again, and that's when it becomes a problem.
Dangerous Dan, first driver starting his lap on the medium tyres. This will be interesting to see what he can do. I think the delta's about 0.8. So yeah. I don't know what the cutoff point's going to be. Looking at it at the moment, I imagine the cutoff for Q2 is going to be
mid to low 19s.
Yeah, maybe a 19.2, 19.3.
Yeah. Grunty's left the session. Do you mind
sure
getting back in, please? Yes. Yeah, the trick is with the first 2 chicanes, you'll notice there's like an orange curve. Basically, if you allow the car to kind of go over those curves rather than hitting it with the tyre, if that makes sense. It kind of works. Obviously, you don't invalidate or anything else, but as I mentioned, it's a very, very fine line to nail it and get the exit as well. But you can see the difference, and yeah, Dan's aborted this lap. You can see the difference between the softs and the mediums. Obviously the softs have the embedded grip, and the mediums just doesn't have as much at all.
So Predats for his lap must have been very close with the fuel, because he's currently ran out. So maybe that's why he was so quick.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. Draco. Oh, Draco again on the exit of Ascari.
Lukey's about to be the first medium runner to set his lap time. And it's a 20.3. I don't think that's going to be good enough at the minute. Out of the people that I think probably will be feeling a bit risky, a bit nervous, is Breezy and Magic Mark. I feel like they're probably going to have another lap. I'm not quite sure if a 19.5 will be enough. It might just be on the cut-off.
On a board with Shrimp at sea. Yeah, if you just... again, it's very difficult, especially depending on what assist you run, you know, no ABS or anything else like that. But if you can get it so the car goes just to the right and the left of the curbs rather than kind of on it. You see in this second chicane here, if you just like that. That's what Shrimper did. And it keeps your lap invalid, but obviously the car runs smoothly over the curb. It's obviously to do with suspension as well. If you have it too stiff, otherwise that's not going to happen.
Evo is pretty close to Draco, although they both have messed up on the exit of the first chicane. That's probably ruined both of their lap times, both of them on the mediums as well. Shrimper nailed beautifully through Ascari there.
Yeah. Am I right for Ascari as well? That first part of Ascari is the most difficult because it seems like the car just slightly snaps no matter what setup you have on. And obviously you're going to have a low aero because of the straight. 19666. He's the devil, Cornish.
Is he trying to tell us something?
He's the devil.
Evo has set a purple middle sector on his mediums, unless the game is lying to me.
That's personal best through the sectors. That's not because of the session.
Right, okay. The game is lying to me then.
Well, no, when like the first few months, like people were saying, "Oh, it's purple is the fastest in the session," but then I looked at the race director, and I got away with that.
That was lucky.
Yeah,
it's not going to be quick enough anyway. I think that him and Draco did mess up that first chicane.
Anything I don't like about Parabolica now, you see on the exit. Back in the day, there was gravel there, and now it's just a massive tarmac run. I know it's safety and all that, but it's like if you make a mistake, you're not really punished for it, to be honest, when you have massive runoffs. It's the same as like when we went to Spa last week, Cornish. The massive runoff at turn 1. There used to be obviously a barrier there. So
you're one of the old-fashioned ones, I see.
Yep.
To be fair, I do think
it's not intimidating anymore.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I agree there has to be safety in modern Formula 1, but a gravel trap is still as safe. But it gives that bit of jeopardy if you get it wrong.
Steffi on a good lap so far. Steffi, as I said, the man in form. 3 third places in a row, Cornish. The last 3 races.
Well, no, that is consistent.
Yeah, I said to him Go on.
I said, has he got enough to get through to Q2, though? He did nail Ascari there.
Yeah, very good. I did actually say to him at the end of last week, can you get second this time? Not third again. But, what if you can go 4 in a row? 9 seconds for Ascari. Make sure that the car is exactly to the right so it can minimise the distance. And he beats Produce.
Lovely lap.
By 3 thousandths as well.
This is starting to get a bit spicy. Caesar Wizard so far has invalidated 2 of his laps. He's set his personal best through Ascari and nails that. That's lovely.
Again, with the curb on that right hand side, you can use it a little bit, but don't use it too much because that can also unsettle the car. And I think that's the problem with this circuit, isn't it, Cornish? You have to have like a low aero for the massive straights, but then when you come to the chicanes, that's when the car obviously is going to be a little bit loose.
Yeah,
and that's where you're going to lose the time.
With this game, I think for most tracks you have to have quite a stiff suspension, especially at the rear end. So as soon as you hit those curbs, they really can spin you around, like you said.
Right, 3 minutes, just under 4 minutes to go. Who is in trouble? Well, Hardy is on the bubble at the moment on the medium tyres. He's currently on a... It says on a lap, but it is a slow one with no ERS and no fuel. Be hard push to get back round again in another set of tyres, Cornish, from there.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get out in time, especially if he's on the edge of running out of fuel here. It'll be interesting to see if he can get back to the pits in time.
Outside of the top 10, you've got Lukey, obviously, doesn't want to be here at all, but of course he set his lap on the mediums. He's currently on the softs at the moment. About to start a lap. Then you've got both Mercedes, Evo and Dan. Draco down there in 13th, yet to set a lap with Little Sparks as well. And you've got Shrimper, Mark, and probably Breezy will need to improve their times as well.
Hard to get into the pits. He's going to have to be quick. He probably just has enough time. It's about a minute to get in and out. It's going to be close.
Well, the only thing I would say is if he gets out with like a minute 30 left, probably, he will have to motor round, and that's then the risk of making a mistake or something. Keep an eye on him, Cornish, just in case. You know what I mean. I don't expect him to, but just in case.
The other thing with having to push on your outlap is it does put unnecessary wear on your tyres, and these will be the tyres that you do start your race on if he does manage to get through.
That too. A flag for Ascari at the moment, just a few setting up their laps. Lukey is 8 tenths up. What? Ooh, just keeps it on the track through middle of Ascari. Just.
Hardy's going to have to be quick. I don't think he's going to make it. His pit crew are just starting to move now. Him
one
and
of those incidents.
Caesar Wizards have both come out at the exact same time.
That's about a minute 25 to go. Lukey pops up to 4th. This is the two ahead. Yeah, they're going to have to motor around. They're going to have to really motor around.
People all around them on laps as well. This is not an ideal situation.
And the thing is, with this league, like real life, you can't cut corners just to get round in time. He's got to really motor. He's got to do like a 120 on his outlap, I think.
Hardy's having to move out of the way of Lukey. He definitely lost a good chunk of time there, a good few seconds. It's going to be very close if he can make this round. He's got space behind him now, so he doesn't necessarily have to worry from behind.
Draco getting a nice little cheeky slipstream on the way to Parabolic and behind Muddy Biscuit. It's one and only lap. Where is this going to put him? Obviously pole position last time out as well. Wow, 18.4.
Wow.
What? Nailed lap.
What a lap that is.
That's going to... Everyone sit up and take notice. Sat me up anyway.
That is putting the gauntlet out and a half, that is. Fair play.
Jesus.
Hardy is just going to make it out to start his lap. Just came out of the exit of Parabolic and now starts his lap with 4 seconds to spare.
Blimey. 2 Alfa Romeos on the cusp in 7th and 8th as Shrimper goes to 10th. He's now on the bubble in 19.3.
Both Mercedes giving each other a little bit of a draft. Can either of them get through?
It comes down. 4th, 18.8. Evo, 7th, 19.1. Puts Shrimper out. Both Alfa Romeos on the cusp. Little Sparks hasn't got anything else. Just Breezy and Hardy.
Muddy Biscuit invalidates on Ascari. So he can't
I think he's safe. I think he's safe because there's only 2 more on a lap.
Hardy and Breezy, yep.
They just need to beat a 19.2. Very, very close times. It's 2/10 separating 5th to 10th at the moment, right in the cusp of the top 10, and Breezy's run out of fuel. Breezy ran out of fuel on the run to the line.
Hardy was lovely and smooth through the Ascari chicanes. Didn't take too much curb, so I think he was playing it safe, didn't want to invalidate. Is it enough to get him through? Yes, it is.
Yes.
Well done.
So, out of both Alfa Romeos, one goes in of Caesar Wizard, one goes out of Mega Centurion.
By
200s between them.
Wow.
Wow.
We said it'd be a
apart
19.2, 19.3.
Yeah. And apart from the 4/10 gap that Draco has at the top, it's been quite close. But I would hope for competitiveness, and everyone else would hope for Q3. That's one of those nailed laps, like 1 in every 20 that you're going to do. Because, I mean, if you could do that in Q3, Jesus.
Yeah, what a lap that is.
Out of Q2, Mega Centurion just misses out in 11th. Little Sparks also only just missed out in 12th. Shrimper 13th, Breezy 14th, and Magic Mark in 15th. And there is your top 10. A couple of names that I haven't obviously seen in here before, but usual big hitters. Evo up there in the top 10 as well. It's pretty good. Muddy Biscuit only just going through in 9th. Cornish as well, championship leader.
Yeah, that's certainly
set the world alight.
He definitely had some squeaky bum time at the end. It'll be interesting to see if he can improve on that time during Q3. It'll be interesting to see if how many drivers have any tyres left. It looks like they've all used all of their allocations, so I think they're only going to have one set of softs each for the final for this session. Drivers like Caesar Wizard, I know he did at least 3 laps in that on 3 different tyres in that last session. So it depends if we might only be seeing one run from each of them here.
Possibly. Car's heading out already. The lone Alfa Romeo of Caesar Wizard is going to be the first one to venture out in the Q3. Still very sunny skies. Another thing, obviously, which we might get this week, Cornish, which might happen in our races, I guess. Wet weather. Wet weather around here it's interesting, I would say.
I don't think I've actually ever driven in the wet around here. I hope with the wet it might help to negate some of the track invalidation issues. But no, I've not driven around it in the wet.
I remember a race in 2018, I think it was, where it was pitch black. Pitch black skies, full wet weather. It was, ridiculous. Because as you know, you need to have like a low aero for the straights.
100%.
But in wet weather, obviously, what do? You add a bit?
It's the situation I had around Spa last week. It was full intermediates for the whole race last week, and I decided to go for my wet setup. But during the straights, I was so far down on high speed than anyone else that for the first sector, I'd lose a second, and then the second sector, I'd gain it all back, and it was impossible for me to overtake. So around here is a very similar situation. I think you'd have to stick with low wings and just try and cope with it, just for how many straights there are around here.
Yeah. Right, if you take us through lap on board and Preludes.
Yeah, will do indeed. Reaching speeds of 230 miles an hour, braking at the 75 meter mark. Lovely through that first corner and second corner. Short shifts up into third, coming around the fast bends. I've forgotten the actual official name.
Curva Grande.
Curva Grande, that's the one. Coming into the second chicane. Oh, that's an invalidation. Close one there. Just his right wheel. I mean, he took it beautifully. But yeah, an invalidation there, sadly.
There's a very fine line. Draco, who obviously set that 18.4 in Q2. Take through the rest of the lap on board. Draco just coming down to Ascari.
Yep, will do. Coming down through Ascari. Some drivers like to turn a little bit to the left and then counter steer back into the Ascari just to get the extra turn in. Oh, well held, Draco, well held. Bit greedy with the curves there. That will have lost him some time, probably a tenth or two. But that's impressive to have held that. Let's see how much that will have affected this time. Lovely through Parabolica, using all of the track width and cutting back into the shortest line to the finishing line. Crosses with an 18.5. Well, an 18.6.
Wow.
With that mistake through Ascari, who knows what that lap would have been without that mistake.
Certainly. Danger stand 18.7. Pops ahead of Caesar Wizard, who done an 18.9. I think Lukey's going to be next. Needs to qualify well. Because I said he needs to beat Muddy Biscuit in the race, but step
Very
one
close.
qualifying.
Very close to the invalidation there on the exit of Ascari.
Yeah, step one qualifying. He needs to be ahead of Muddy Biscuit, like to get it going. Keep on Milan as well.
Lovely
18.7. Edge is ahead of Dangerous Dan, just behind Draco.
Steffi must have been validated through Ascari.
He's going to go
set
again.
another lap.
You can do 2 laps around here, can't you? You can't go like a fast lap, slow it down, and then go again.
Yeah, I think from a full lap you only lose at the most 2/10 from a set of tyres. So it's not ideal, but if you do invalidate, you know you've got that safety mark there. Evo coming through Ascari. Invalidates. Gets too greedy with the curb on the right.
Yeah.
Freedoubts has invalidated his second lap again. Is the pressure starting to get to him?
This is the thing is.
I don't think he used another set of tyres in Q2, so I think he might be one of the few drivers here who's got 2 sets of fresh softs.
Well, sometimes the tactic is, if you can get away with it, just have a lap on the board. Wow, Steffi, that was absolutely brilliant.
Oh, that's a shame. That was lovely through there.
That's what it takes. That's all it takes. Some people would say that's like a minimal, but that's what the game is like sometimes. It's he got just too greedy on the exit.
For 95% of Ascari there, he absolutely nailed it. Pushed it too much there.
Predutes again.
So he's going for his third run on these tyres. That's brave.
Third run.
Yeah, so he's invalidated 2 laps in a row on these tyres now.
Oh, didn't get the turn in.
I think he's got the best out of these tyres.
Yeah, didn't get the turn in right. Had to sort of turn out the first part of the chicane, and that kind of didn't get the exit the second. I noticed he's doing first gearing for the first chicane. It's not something I would do, but
the problem is and he cuts again. Yeah, the problem with when you take the first chicane like he did there is you're just losing speed the whole way down that next straight. You end up, just by taking that one corner badly, you're losing 3, 4, 5 tenths before you get to the second chicane. That's how important the first chicane is around here.
Right, so Milan carrying all the Ferraris.
Italian team ahead of him in Alfa Romeo. Are they going to give him a bit of slipstream? Well, doesn't matter. Got too greedy with the curves.
No, it doesn't matter. We're putting a curse on these drivers. Every time we spectate them, that's when they invalidate.
And Predouts comes into the he sped into the pit lane there. He's got to be careful. Make sure he doesn't do that during the race.
He could do it in qualifying. It's fine. Well, it's not, but you don't get a penalty for it. Did I say that out loud? I did.
So it's Caesar Wizard coming down to the first chicane. Lovely through the second. Slightly missed the first apex. Coming through the Curva Grande into the second chicane. Hits his braking marker, lovely. Now that was sweet as a nut through there. Just on the just on the edge of the gravel. That's where you want to be. Turns in too early though for the first. Lesmo, he would have lost a lot of time there, and the problem with that is he's now losing time all the way down this straight as well. I think he's probably better off coming in the pits because he's not going to improve now.
Kind of swung the car into aggressively that first part, didn't he?
Yeah, just got his inside wheel on the grass, and that just that's never a good thing.
Nah, he's going to back out of this lap as well because for Ascari he had to back out of a slight wobble.
Steffi's starting a new lap. Lovely through the first chicane. Lukey kindly gets out of the way around the Curva Grande. Coming into the second chicane. It's a difficult one to say. A little bit slow, but lovely and neat.
25.9 first sector. Can you check that on the race director with Draco?
Yeah, we'll do.
And I'll go
25.8.9 for Draco through the first sector. Middle sector Draco's with 26.127.
Okay, and Steffi's one is just crossed now.
Let me check Steffi's for you.
Looks a solid lap.
Steffi's is a 26.3, so 2/10 down.
Still be good enough for top 4 possibly. If he can nail Parabolica. Turn the car in, nicely done. And of course he's going to go to the right hand side to minimise the distance. That's how you do it. Over the white line, 18.6. Found a lot in that last sector.
Either he found a lot or Draco lost a lot of speed in that final sector. Let me compare their sectors. So Draco did a 26.5. Steffi did a 26.3.
Yeah, so 2/10 in that last sector alone.
It looks like Draco must have messed up during Ascari there. He did, if you remember. He messed up at the end of Ascari.
Yeah, had a very slight wobble, didn't he? Yeah.
So it looks like he lost those 2/10. 2/10 could put him in danger here for pole. Especially if Predoubts is back out again on a fresh set of softs.
Yeah, which he is on a lap now.
And he has finally got through the second chicane without invalidating. Did have to lift off on the exit. But that shouldn't have lost him too much time. Lovely through the first Lesmo. Attacks the second Lesmo. Could have taken a bit more curb there, but nice and neat on the exit. Coming down to Ascari, hugging the right-hand side of the track. Turns in, lovely, not being too greedy. This is what we like to see. Lovely and smooth.
This is good. Looks very good so far. Steffi, on a second lap.
Wow.
Beat Draco's time. He thought he could find a little bit more, and he did. Tiny bit more.
Lost a bit of time through Parabolica there, looking on board. Had to take a couple of turn-ins. Crossed the line with an 18.4 though. Wow. Matches his Q2 time.
Draco's not going out again. He's in the pit, so Draco will be third at best.
Yeah, Predoubts is not doing another lap. Predoubts is happy with what he's set. Doesn't think he can improve. Pulls over. Milan coming through Ascari takes the first turn in beautifully. Very, very close to cutting there, but has nailed that.
He didn't go through there with full acceleration. He was perhaps a little cautious. Because I heard the engine die as soon as he turned into the corner. Just wanted to keep it clean.
I came on board just as he was coming through. Runs out of ERS up to the line, and 18.6. Not bad, not bad. I say
he's up by not too much. Might sneak ahead of Milan. Yeah, Steffi's done. Lucky's going to be next.
Dangerous Dan out of the two Mercedes has invalidated, but he's not giving his teammate any slipstream.
Lukey lost the little bit of time that he had.
Evo's coming up to the line. An 18.9, nice and neat. Caesar is invalidated, so he will not be improving.
That it? I think
Muddy Biscuits coming up to the line now.
Oh, 10th and a half up.
Whoa, goes into fourth. Lovely lap from Muddy.
Massive lap, but he got Milan still let to go, and he's 300s up, and he can possibly might even get ahead of Draco if he can nail Parabolica. Slightly missed the apex. We've got the exit good. Got nothing left. Fuel in the RS. Is he going to have enough to the line? He does, and he just nudges ahead of Muddy Biscuit.
Look at the gap from 2nd to 5th. Less than half a tenth. That is what we like to see.
And you got the 3 championship contenders all in a row. Not in championship order, but very close to one another. But Predutz in Haas at an 18.445. Very, very nice from him. His either his first or his second race. Might be even be his first race.
I think it's his
stuck
first.
It on pole. Yeah, stuck it on pole.
One way to introduce yourself.
House. Very good. Hopefully he joins, so we can have a word of him. Steffi will be alongside him on the front row. Draco third and then Milan fourth. Muddy then Nuki, Dan and then Evo, Caesar Wizard and Harvey rounds out the top 10. All separated by half a second.
Now, you said it was close in this division. I didn't expect it to be that close.
Homage, of course, to the guy or the guys that helped sort out the divisions at the start of the season. It's very, very close indeed. But here we go to the race.
Looks like it's clear blue skies to start with, at least. I doubt we'll be seeing any rain throughout this session. Sadly.
It's a shame in a way, isn't it? Yeah.
Looks like Lukey was just trying to get attention at the start.
It's a thing he does. I've noticed, I'll try and ignore it, but
there I was thinking he was giving us a heads up that there might be some rain available, but no, he just wanted his 1 minute of fame.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're happy now, Lukey.
Right. So this race ahead of us, what are we expecting? Obviously, it's the longest run down to turn 1, isn't it? But it's not a very wide track. And obviously you've got a very slow chicane, which you can fit 2x2 wide, but you can't fit 3. So they're going to have to sort themselves out very quickly as well.
I think there's going to be a lot of clenched butts coming into that first corner. Hopefully we see it nice and clean, but I think there's a high possibility we could be seeing a safety car.
Yeah, obviously we hope that we can all be clean through the first corner and even the second chicane as well, because if you haven't sorted out your differences through the first chicane, then you've got the second chicane, the Roger chicane, just past the Curva Grande, which, as I said, if you're still side by side past the first chicane, it's like, no you go, no I go, no you go, no I go, then it's even more tricky to fit 2 cars side by side through the second chicane. I've seen many contentious, debatable incidents through there, Cornish, over my time in league racing, so fingers crossed we don't get one of those, because it's like, yeah, it's very difficult. We've even seen real life drivers connect there as well, so...
Last year with Lewis Hamilton. And it's not just the 2 chicanes, as you mentioned, the Curva Grande, side by side through there, it's very easy to be 3 wide, and you do not want to be 3 wide around the Curva Grande. That is going to end up in a humongous incident. So we'll be keeping an eye out on that. Even 2 wide, it's easy to get a wheel on the grass, and then that's it, race over.
Yeah. The worst position you want to be on the long run down to turn 1 on the first lap is in between people. Like, you're behind someone, but someone is directly behind you. Because all it takes is a slight miss of a braking zone. It's like dominoes, isn't it? They all hit into one another. And like, the car in the middle is the one that suffers the most, because he gets like the front wing damage and he's done nothing wrong at all.
Yeah, fingers crossed we don't see anything like that this evening. Hopefully, even though there's a high possibility of a safety car, hopefully it's a nice clean race from all, with some good overtakes. The one good thing with Monza is it is an easy track to overtake on with all the straights. It can be difficult if you're stuck in a DRS train, but because of the hard braking zones, especially into the 2 chicanes, as you mentioned, And if you nail the exit of Ascari, there's plenty of overtaking opportunities around here.
ERS management, you're going to have to do quite a bit, as well as fuel management as well. So setting your car to the correct fuel amount is also going to be key. You don't want to have a car that's too heavy, Cornish, do you? But you want to have a little bit to help with overtaking and slipstream as well, because if you can be in a train, a DRS train, and not use ERS but use fuel instead, or the other way around, can be beneficial, can be tactical as well. So you might see a few of that here today as well.
Yeah, if we see any people just relaxing in a train, we can assume they're either saving ERS or fuel. I imagine most people will be going with the default setting. Most tracks people turn it down a little bit, take a little bit of fuel off, but I imagine around here you'll want that bit extra.
Yeah.
It'd be a good thing if we'd be able to see the level of fuel they had in. Maybe Codemasters can bring us that next year.
Right, can you take us through the grid, please? If you start from 16th and then up to the top.
Sure. So in 16th, we've got the Racing Point of Grunty. Sadly, crashed out at the exit of Ascari in Q1. The only driver to be knocked out. Hopefully, we'll knock it down. He is starting on the medium tyres, so it'll be interesting to see with the strategy there. In 15th is Magic Mark, also on the medium tyres. 14th is Breezy, opting to go for the softs, so opting to stick with the rest of the pack. Trimper also on the softs, Sparks on the mediums. Mega Centurion in 11th, the last person to get knocked out of Q2. Was very, very close, but at least he's going to be the front runner on medium tyres, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do on that particular compound. In 10th place, we've got Hardy. Solid effort. It did invalidate a few times in Q3, sadly, but I'm sure he can be happy. Caesar Wizard in 9th, again another driver that invalidated a lot in Q3. It seems to be something we're going to see a lot of this week, I imagine. Dirt Evo, the first of the Mercedes, in 8th, with Dangerous Dan, the second of the Mercedes, in 7th. We've got Lukey, the man on the charge in the championship in the Racing Point. Right behind the championship leader in Muddy Biscuit. It will be interesting to see what the first corner is going to be like between those two. I think that's going to be one we're going to have to keep an eye on. It'll be interesting to see if they keep it clean. Maybe Lukey's going to be trying to maximise his points, so that'll be an interesting one to watch. Up ahead in 4th is FFR Milan in the Ferrari, and ABE Draco in 3rd. Steffi Gamer in 2nd, pulling a lap out of his backside on his second run on those softs. Very impressive lap on his second run. Lovely through Ascari. And Predoubts, the debutant in 1st. Really putting a marker down for his pace. It'll be interesting to see if he's consistent during the race. As I said, I've raced with him in previous divisions, previous leagues. So I know that he can get a bit hot under the helmet. So interesting to see what he can do.
I love the fact how you're praising him, but also throwing him under as well at the same time.
Let's just say we might have had one or two
lovely
in the past.
Okay. Lovely grid walkthrough. Thank you, Cornish. So 27 laps of this, the Italian Grand Prix of Monza. It's going to be over very, very quickly, actually. It's one of the shortest Grand Prix on the calendar. Let's hopefully we can have a clean start as we go to 5. Red lights and lights out, and away we go. And Steffi's got a slightly better start than Produce up front. Lukey's got a better start ahead of Money. He's actually past him as they go 2 by 2 down into first corner. Hopefully we can keep it clean. And Steffi's actually taken the lead ahead of Produce as Milan has edged his way past Draco. And there's a yellow flag at the back. And there's one of the Mercedes is off. I think it's Evo.
It is Evo.
Is that a spin? Yeah, Paduz is already looking back on the outside of Steffi, but Steffi covers him off into the second chicane as we all
Caesar
go
and
through.
Hardy side by side through the second. Caesar manages to get through for the second chicane, but loses the position to Hardy on the exit.
Clean start by the looks of it, apart from an Evo spin at the back. Very good stuff from F2. Breezy up 5 places, up into the top 10. So a great start from him. This is where the slipstream starts. In fact, Breezy's having a look at Mega Centurion, I think, in the inside of Ascari. So he's up into 8th. A little bit of a touch and a cut over the first part of Ascari, but he's through into 8th place already. He's on a big charge in that Renault. Is there any damage for Evo at the back, Cornish? It's just a
not
little
as
spin,
far as I can see. Looking on board, it looks like he's got away with that one, and he's not that far behind. Hopefully, with people getting held up in trains, he might be able to come back up in time for the pit stops. But no, he is pitting, so he must have had damage. Interesting to see. If he goes on the hards, he'll be able to get to the end. If he swaps onto a set of mediums, he's going to have to pit again. He's on the hards, so that will be interesting to see what will happen, and he is having a wing change.
That's a shame for Evo. Must have been a little bit of contact there. As just bear with the timing pages, Cornish. They do go a bit mad after the first stop, and Predutz, even though he's lost the lead, is right up the gearbox of Steffi. Obviously, at this point, I wouldn't imagine Predutz is panicking that he's lost the lead. He's just measuring that Red Bull here. We're into Ascari. No penalties yet, but probably a couple of warnings for what I've seen, as Predutz runs very wide for Ascari, desperate to keep up behind. It's that dirty air as well. It's obviously, you've got the slipstream Cornish on the straights, but through the corners, you've got the dirty air, which can throw you wide. As Grunty's out, he's done it again.
Not through Ascari again. Grunty! You thought he'd let
opposite barrier. Safety car. Safety car. People pit. Milan's in. The leaders have gone through. Milan and Draco both pit.
Yeah, this will be interesting. I don't reckon you can get mediums to the end. So I think they're all going to be pitting for the hards now.
Yep. Hards for Milan. Who else does pit? Breezy, Centurion, Sparks all pit. They're all near the back, but a bit of a gamble for Milan and Draco to do this, Cornish, because it's put them way out of sync compared to everyone else.
Luckily for them, they are the front runners on the hards, so at least they'll be hopefully getting some free air after the safety car. Magic Mark on those mediums is sitting pretty. Won't have lost too much time to the front runners.
Now, do you reckon because all of these, the front 9 have all overtaken the safety cars, so they've still got a bit of a gap to those that have pitted? Do you reckon they are going to? Although saying that, actually, I think Milan is catching up enough.
Yeah, I was going to say
seconds.
the gap is not there. If they pit now, they're probably going to end up coming out behind Sparks or Evo. I do not think there's enough of a gap there. Although it would look like Milan is being held up by his Delta, so maybe the game is being nice to Steffi and the front runners and is giving them that gap they need.
See what they're going to do. Be interested to see if one of them does and one of them doesn't.
Steffi is pitting and Predouts, but Lukey stays out. Muddy Biscuit stays out. Dangerous stays out. Ooh, okay. Interesting call by the front 2. Steffi onto the hards, as we'd expect. Predouts is going on to the mediums. Now, that is a brave take there. That is not going to get to the end. He is going to have to pit.
Now,
luckily for them, though, they have come out at both of them have come out ahead of the hard runners behind.
And that's purely because of the Delta, isn't it?
Yes. That game really did nail that Delta. That was a close one. So they can count their blessings for that one.
So this is interesting. So you've got the top 6, obviously all started on the soft tyres. I guess what they're hoping for is they get a gap ahead of those that have pitted, and then when they pit themselves, there'll be a much fresher tyres. Of course, they can go on the mediums and then catch back up those on the hards. Because yes, hards can get to the end, Cornish, but they're going to be, that 21 onwards, not going to be that great.
No,
and
I
against
don't know
fresh
what
mediums.
The life is. I don't know what the life is on the hards, but I know they're not particularly fast around here. I think they're a good solid 0.8 seconds slower than the medium tyres. So that's not good. We've got Evo at the back. What's happened to him? I think he's still just trying to catch up to that safety car. He must have had the Delta slowing him down.
Shame for Grunty. Hasn't really got going tonight because qualifying crashed the exit of Ascari on the green tyre barrier on the left, and in the race he's on it on the opposite side.
Either that, or he just wanted to make the race a racing point sandwich with Lukey in front and Grunty at the bottom. Maybe that's what he was
Or
aiming
make it
for.
interesting. He's definitely made it interesting with his safety car, the split strategy of these guys.
100%. So we're going around for another lap under the safety car whilst Evo closes up.
Evo. He's going to do another lap. Interesting call for Magic Mark, I would say, Cornish, for staying out as well, because he's on the mediums. And of course, he can go longer, but he's right ahead of those that have pitted, so...
Yeah, lucky for him, the safety car isn't going to have affected his tyre wear too much, so I don't think he'll have that much of a disadvantage to Predouht's behind. So it'll be interesting to see what lap he pits.
Of course, he can go on the softs as well, and he'd be the quickest guy in the last stint.
He is going to be the one to watch for the final 5 laps, I think, of this race.
He can't lose too much time on the tyres that he's got at the moment. He's going to be hounded by first Steffi, and then Predouht's.
Predouht's,
What are we going?
Is
Predouht's, yeah.
Is how it's pronounced. But yeah, if he can just stick onto the rear end of Shrimper, try and stick in the DRS. If he can stay there for the 2 laps, so until the DRS comes out, that's his best hope, I think, at the moment. Try and stick the pack ahead.
Guys in the chat watching, what do you think about Predouht's getting to the end on medium tyres? 22 laps. I'm not too sure myself, but I have been proved wrong in the past.
The safety car is in.
Right, so apparently Toxic CW says easy. Could be easy for him because he's got on his tyres, but I can imagine those that aren't. I hold my hand up to that. Now, safety car restart, Cornish, this is a difficult one, isn't it? Because it's not like many tracks where you got like a slow corner and then you can floor it. Luke's got a... Oh, they're bunching up as well.
I imagine Luke is going to take this pace all the way to the start-finish line. You are not going to want to go early round here because you are just going to be swamped.
Don't do a Magello.
Yeah, that was... to be fair, that made the Magello race interesting to watch, at least. He's going to hold it until the line. This could get messy.
Where's he going to go? This is...
He's gone, and he's gone.
Oh, there he goes.
Caught Muddy Biscuit sleeping there. Muddy Biscuit is probably going to be overtaken by Dangerous Dan. Although...
Wizard's got by Hardy as well. As Wizard gives a tap to Dan, and I think he's going to get ahead of Hardy. Oh, no, he's still there. Oh, kind of shoved him under the grass a little bit. Shrimper's now got the momentum. We did. Backed out of it. Predouht's has got by Steffi. He's on it on his mediums already. He needs to.
Oh, he went in a bit late and has tapped the rear end of Magic Mark into the second chicane, though.
Oh, there's contact, Centurion and Sparks, and Evo got a little bit of a mess with the Roger. And Evo is background spinning again, and he's caught back up to the grid, and now he's got to catch them back up again.
I think he's got damage as well.
Yeah. Oh, Evo. Not having a good one.
His hope now is for another safety car. Hopefully he doesn't cause it. Lukey, what a perfect safety car restart from that. He's nearly out of the DRS already after 1 lap.
It's because he's gone absolutely 100% on his ERS. He's ran out of it on the edge of a Ascari because he wants the gap already. I'm hoping at this point that Dangerous Dan.
He's not using any ERS behind Muddy Biscuit down this straight. So he's not going for the overtake this lap yet. Biding his time for the DRS, I imagine. Lovely through the first chicane. Oh, and Evo's got a 5-second penalty from speeding into the pit lane, and he's retired.
Retire it. Yeah, that's normally the telltale sign.
Unlucky, mate.
That's a shame for Evo. Yeah. Right, so Predouht's now stuck behind Magic Mark, who's obviously on 4-lap older tyres. Not much difference, of course, but it's at this point that those that are pitted have got to kind of remain calm at this point, don't they? They don't lose too much time behind these guys ahead. They have the advantage for now.
Yeah,
they've got to
100%.
have their head on at this point.
Magic Mark is close to exiting of the DRS from Shrimper ahead. He needs to stay on that. He's about 8 tenths behind at the moment. Just closed in through Ascari. That was nice and neat from him there. The ERS between Lukey and Muddy at the front has now equalised. So they've got the same amount of ERS. Muddy must have been using a lot in this last lap to try and close the gap, but it's not worked.
Hardy's up the gearbox of Caesar Wizard, using his ERS to push alongside to try and get that place back. They're rubbing tyres, bit of contact. Oh, Wizard just holds him off.
Bit naughty from Wizard there if squeezing him to the edge. Just about got away with that one.
Rubbin racing.
Shrimper might be all behind Hardy into the second chicane.
Yeah, they're being dropped by the front three at the moment. Almost 2 seconds. And Produce is very keen to still make progress.
Predoubts has gotten past Magic Mark. He's now 3 tenths behind Shrimper. The problem is, Predoubts is not going to want to be attacking too much on these tyres if he wants to get them to the end. Obviously, Toxic said that it's going to be easy, but I doubt it. As he would have got a warning for that Ascari. Got to be careful with those penalties.
Muddy Biscuit was being dropped by Lukey. He's now back within half a second of
Hardy
Lukey.
2 tenths behind Wizard as well.
Yeah. Kind of mini trains at the moment. Well, this is it for Hardy, surely. He's got DRS.
Keep it nice and clean this time, lads.
Sweeps on the inside this time.
Squeeze it!
Oh!
Returns the squeeze!
That was more than a squeeze. I think that was an elbow.
Keep it clean, lads. Calm down, calm down. Predoubts is
Hopefully no
this
damage,
from
I don't
behind.
think.
This is exactly what he needs if he wants to get past these guys. Keeps them fighting.
All this is kind of helping the top three get a little bit of a gap, though, ahead.
Yeah, Muddy Biscuit has closed a bit up to Lukey, with Danger Sam right on his hot heels.
Oh, no. Produce hit the back of Shrimper. Did he get damage from that? Always lucky. Shrimper was touched the gravel a little bit on the exit of Roger, and Produce again. He's got to keep ahead.
Shrimper on the Lesno had a bit of a loose rear end there. Is he going to get? He's not going to try it down the inside of Ascari. Surely not.
He is.
Lovely move. Keeps it within the track limits as well. That was lovely.
Oh, Shrimper! Shrimper! Shrimper!
Well held. Well held.
How on earth did he hold that?
That's the save of the season so far. I think that is. Dangerous down 2 tenths behind Muddy up front.
That could have ended in tears for like several other drivers there as well.
Muddy down to 16% ERS. All the front three have got hardly any ERS left.
I think they realise at this point they need to leak out as much pace as they got from the sauce to get that gap. They know they're going to lose the lead, but they need to make sure they don't have too much to like gain back when they pit onto their tyres. Yeah, Produce and all that got a time penalty. The only other time penalty is Breezy, and I'm actually kind of surprised by lap 10 Cornish. We don't have more penalties than what we have right now.
I think Predoubts has got more on his way. He definitely cut the second chicane again. So that's another warning. He's got to calm that down. It looks like he's getting frustrated in this traffic.
He's in a good position though, isn't he? Because he's gapped Steffi by 2 seconds by the looks of it.
Steffi's struggling to get past Magic at the moment, it would seem.
Oh, Wizard all sideways. Here comes Produce. Easy. Easy does it. Or is it?
Oh, Caesar thinks better of it. That was a
slipstream.
Smart decision, that.
Muddy pits.
Caesar pits as well.
So where does Muddy Biscuit go on to? Mediums, I guess? Yeah, he does. Wizard
Comes
also
out
to the
just-
mediums.
He's coming out at the back of the pack. He's got some time to close up to those hard runners. That is a lot of time he's got to make up here. A good
11.
13 seconds by the time he gets going.
Ooh,
Have
that's
those
more than what I thought it would be.
those hard tyres, I think, have nailed it so far on the strategy. Especially there's another safety car because they've got the gap now that they can always pit and come back out on another set of mediums and still be ahead of Muddy Biscuit.
Produce again, obviously cleared. Wizard is now on the back of Hardy. He's not going to be able to overtake for his sky, so he's going to wait to the straight.
Hardy with a 3-second penalty.
Steffi edges by Magic Mark. Magic Mark is starting to fall back a little bit.
Hardy's having some
Although
disconnect problems. He just had the X on his car and his car jumped about. That'll be one to keep an eye on.
Magic Mark easing by Steffi. Steffi's still trying to battle with him. Breezy behind is in there as Dan and Hardy pit.
Lukey opting to stay out. That is a brave decision. I think at this point, seeing how far out Muddy, maybe he's thinking he can hold on for a safety car potentially.
Yeah, Breezy edging by Steffi. That would be a net second place, I guess, at this point. Once the three ahead, well, of course, we don't know whether Produce is or will be able to go to the end of the medians, but he's got two ahead of him. So, and this is the Breezy that started in, where did he start? Position gained 14th place, and he's on for a podium right now. Although saying that, he's still got a hungry pack right behind him, all the way back to Mega Centurion.
Yeah, this is the choo-choo train of this race so far.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, little Sparks with the 3-second time penalty through Ascari.
Yeah, the penalties are now stacking up.
Lukey is now pitting. Be interesting to see if Muddy Biscuit would have been able to get the undercut. Muddy and Dangerous Dan. Muddy has managed to close in 3 seconds on Mega Centurion ahead though in his 2 laps since he pitted.
Yes, this is similar to the race in real life earlier. It's Draco locking all up in front of Little Sparks.
And Muddy is well ahead of Lukey there.
Oh, undercut. Massive undercut.
Massive undercut. Dangerous Dan didn't quite manage to get it done. Don't know if he made a mistake or if Muddy just put his foot down. But well done from Muddy there.
Produce is gone, by the way. Leading by 5 seconds and almost 6 seconds to this massive train for second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Milan was very close to Steffi through the Lesmos, almost too close, had to back out of it, would have lost some time there. Of course, Draco to be 1/10 behind him, coming into Ascari. Milan gets a corner cut.
It's his first penalty. Steffi. Right up the gearbox of Breezy. He's not going to lunge it for a parabolica. Gives him a little bit of a nudge though. Muddy Biscuit's got 13 laps to catch the gap. I think he'll catch them.
He's taken another second out in another. He's going a second a lap quicker than Centurion ahead.
Draco lunging it on Milan. He wasn't fully alongside, and that's going to cost him to Little Sparks. Side by side.
Oh, this is. Make sure you leave him enough room,
Side by side for the Curva Grande.
Milan, they're going to swallow up Milan in this as well.
Oh, don't swallow up Milan. Don't go on the inside of him.
Ooh, lovely and clean through there. Great overtake by Little Sparks there.
Good
Draco's
driving.
not giving up though.
Draco trying to get the exit. This is it's good racing. They're giving each other room. want to see how quickly Muddy is catching. If we get on board with Mega as he finishes the lap, and then we'll go to Muddy to see how the lap difference.
He's taken another half a second this lap. Make that half a second through Ascari alone, Muddy has gained on Mega Centurion.
And he's bringing along Lukey and Dangerous down with him.
So they are closing by at least a second a lap.
24.3 for Mega Centurion is the chasing pack.
But it's all good and well closing him. So at this rate, they'll close in by lap 22. That then there's 5 laps to overtake all of the drivers ahead. That is going to be a tough ask.
Yep. Just 1.5 seconds per lap, give or take. So they will catch them before the end, definitely. Can't see him just yet, but you will.
As they said during the Spain race today, it's one thing catching, it's another thing passing. Quote from the legendary Murray Walker there.
Of course. Magic Mark could be an interesting one when he pits as a penalty for Caesar. That's his first one. He's down in 12th at the moment, just off the trio of Muddy, Lukey and Dan. Yeah, the sad thing for Magic Mark is I think when he pits, I think there's a solid chance he's going to come out at the back of the field, maybe just in front of Shrimper. But he's got his work flying
cut
on
out.
sauce, but yeah.
As Breezy gets past.
Yeah, I think he'll be pitting any time soon.
Yeah, I think it's laps 15, 16. It's the lap time in there.
There he
Here
goes.
we go, lovely. Oh! Speeding in a pit lane.
It's one of the easiest ones to do that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very easy. Dangerous Dan
lap
starting to fly.
Always right up behind these two, actually. These two are battling.
Oh, Lukey!
Lukey, the late lunge! It's contact. It's all gone messy. It's all gone messy.
Down onto the gravel. Hopefully none of them have got any damage there.
That was all a bit argy-bargy, and it's kind of...
Yeah, Lukey going in for the very late dive bomb, locking up, forcing Muddy Biscuit to go wide around the outside, whilst Dangerous Dan was there, leaving no room to go. That was very lucky no one got damaged if they didn't.
It's kind of silly to do so as well, because they still got to catch these guys in front. I know they were, but they've just lost all that momentum that they had. I know they're battling, of course, for championship as well, but
Yeah, the gap was down to 6.5 seconds, and now it's back up to 7.5. So yeah, silly little mistakes there. They're just making their job harder down the line, as you said. Steffi all over the back of Breezy, using all of his ERS and DRS. On the inside, easy peasy, lemony squeezy, that move there.
Nice, Draco having a look at Sparks
bit
behind
deep
as well.
into the first chicane though, with Steffi. I think Breezy might be able to get him onto the... yeah, he does through the cover grounders for the inside. Oh,
Breezy's only RS.
Maybe I spoke too soon saying that was easy peasy getting past Breezy.
Wow. But I think the thing was, Steffi used almost all of his ERS just on the main straight, and Breezy was like, okay, I'll just use mine through Curva Grande, I'll just take you back on the exit. Yeah,
Steffi just didn't judge that extra speed he had from all of his ERS and DRS and just went way too deep into the first chicane. Draco 2/10 behind Sparks. Will you seeing him overtaking him onto the next DRS zone? That's probably the closest battle with Mega Centurion 4/10 behind.
Steffi was considering for a split second to go the inside of Ascario. They both driving very hard.
Steffi just a little bit loose the rear end there. Not down the inside of the power pole, surely not.
Oh no.
That was only ever going to end in disaster going down the inside there.
Alan's gone by.
Interestingly though, is Steffi
Produce pits. Produce pits.
Wow.
He couldn't go to the end. This is now for the lead. This is all for the... This train of cars is for the lead. Yay.
Interesting, Steffi's the only one without any penalties as well.
Yeah.
So he just needs to keep it calm. Don't do any silly overtakes like the inside of Parabolica like you tried there. You just need to keep your head down, keep your head calm, and you've got this race in the bag at the minute.
Ooh. Here comes Draco. Ran the outside of Little Sparks through the Roger. Thinks better of it.
Lukey's now
Yeah,
managed to pull the plug from Muddy Biscuit, 2.2 seconds ahead. I'm wondering if Muddy maybe got some damage from that incident, because Muddy definitely had the pace over Lukey for the first half of the stint.
He might have a tiniest bit. I'm not too sure. I think that if you look at it on the broadcast, there's might be a little bit damage on the right side of his front wing. It looks a little less developed than, say, the other side.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's just a very slight little bit of damage there. It's almost the same kind of damage that Lewis Hamilton had Randy Miller a few weeks ago, where just a little bit of end plate there was missing. That is going to affect him a little bit around here.
Breezy didn't get a good exit. Milan on the exit Parabolica. They're going side by side down the front straight.
Breezy does have a lot more ERS though. That's going to mean that he can keep the position probably. Oh, a little bit of a squeeze. Breezy goes in deep. Will Milan be able to hold it on the outside?
Oh. Here comes Steffi.
Side by side through the Curva Grande. They're going to be all over Breezy to the inside of the chicane.
Don't even.
Breezy defending
Steffi,
well. Oh, he had to back out of that, but he's lost the position to Milan.
Far too close. No damage? No?
No damage, that was lucky.
Jesus Christ.
Draco and with their battling, Draco and Sparks are just getting closer and closer. With Mega Centurion behind as well. This is going to be some battle for the lead here. Mega Centurion and Steffi, the only ones without penalties.
Ooh. You're saying about Steffi being calm when he's got no penalty. Oh, Breezy had a mistake. I was looking back. Breezy had a mistake for the end of a sky. They're going to go 3-wide again. What are you doing?
No. Steffi, you don't need to do this. You've got no penalties.
Oh, Breezy's round. No, he's not. He saved it.
Oh, he's going to be... he's going to be swallowed by Sparks and Steffi, though, into this first corner. Sparks going to make it 3 wide.
Oh, my... How is this not ending 3 wide into
Sparks
the first corner?
Oh, no. Contact for the first... Oh, and Draco's hit the back of Breezy as well. That's wing damage for Draco. I think Sparks might have got away with damage there, but that was a late dive bomb there. Milan was lucky to get away with that.
Steffi got a 5-second time penalty as well. I think he cut the whole turn 1 and all that, whatever that was. Oh, Draco.
Unlucky Draco.
And now, this has brought Lukey into it. The guys that have pitted later, now on the medium tyres, they've got this train of battling cars in front of him.
Lukey as well with no penalties.
Might come down to penalties, you
Although,
know.
interestingly,
so close.
Fredoubts is only 2 seconds behind Lukey.
Oh, he's on the softs. He's absolutely fine. I completely forgot
flying.
about him. Of course, we know he has the pace. There he is. Edinburgh Scott. This is ridiculous. One of, what, 8, 9 drivers can win this race at this point?
I think Fredout's is going to have to be careful, though, because I think he's one warning off for 6 seconds worth of penalties. If he can just keep this sensible and calm, I think he's got this win in the bag.
What a shame for Draco. We've lost one from this battle.
A 120.7. Fredout's is flying.
Lukey, double move potentially. He got by Steffi, and he's looking on the inside of Mega.
Lovely and clean there, that was nice.
One at a time, Lukey. One at a time. Same with Predouts. They're going so quick on their fresh tyres. And Steffi trying to squeeze.
Oh, that was nearly disastrous there.
Trying to go on the exit of Roger, and I think he's done it.
Again, lucky to not get any damage from Steffi there.
That was almost Vettel Alonso, wasn't it? Little tab on the grass through Curva Grande.
Lukey is going to want to get past Mega Centurion quick if he wants any chance of winning this race, and he does. Lovely under DRS.
Centurion's got damage from somewhere. I don't know where he's got that from. but he's got damage on his front right, and that's why he's struggling so much now.
I think that was when I think Lukey and him hit each other in the second chicane. I think Lukey went for a little bit of a dive bomb, so maybe that's where they collected some damage.
As your penalties, producers swept by Centurion. 6 seconds covers the top 10 at the moment in this race, with still 5 laps to go.
You promised me close race, and I didn't think it'd be this close.
I didn't think it'd be this close. Obviously, the safety cars obviously created this situation.
Oh, Breezy very slow through the first chicane. That's put pre-doubts all over the back of Lukey. They're going side by side through the Curva Grande.
He pre-doubts on these softs. He's so quick on them.
Be careful not to hit into Sparks on the braking zone here. Oh, he
Reduce right on the outside.
The
There is
thing
a couple with damage.
Lukey's just got
Sparks
to stay
as
with
well.
pre-doubts. Pre-doubts is 1 warning off 6 seconds of penalties, so he just has to try his best to stay with them, and Lukey's got this win. With his championship rival as well, behind Mega Centurion, this is looking tasty for Lukey at the moment.
Well, he was, because he's just gone by Mega.
That must be, the damage is really starting to hurt Mega.
Oh, Lukey! Sorry.
Oh, I missed that.
he had so much of a wobble,
Pre-doubts
he
on the
clipped
inside
the
of
gravel.
Bolliker and Breezy! They hit each other. Oh! Their pre-doubts rear wheel hit the front right of Breezy, and it was very, very close to spinning around there. Calm it down, pre-doubts, calm it down. You've got this win if you can just pull the bag.
He's still got to gap Lukey though in 4 laps. In 4 laps he's got to catch Milan, who's got a 1.7 second gap in all this. He's just cleared off a bit, and then gap Lukey as well, who is still held behind Sparks and Breezy, are still going at it. I tell you what, I'm glad I'm not doing this by myself because it would be hard to keep up with. Oh wow. Mad. So the top 4 have penalties. Lukey is the highest of those that doesn't, but he's still got to be careful, battling his way through.
Interesting enough, Milan has got 40% ERS.
Oh, Sparks! Sparks! Doing trying to still defend it.
Well,
it's alright.
Draco's left. It's a shame for that man.
Yeah. Now, because Lukey's taken so long, oh, be careful. It's taken so long to get by Little Sparks and Breezy. Muddy's now right at the back of this.
And not only that, Lukey has now lost the gap to Pre-Doubts. So Pre-Doubts currently has got his 3-second gap for the penalty.
This train of cars still. From, what's that? That's 5th down to 10th.
Little Sparks hit the rear end of Muddy there on the exit of the first chicane. Ooh, Muddy's going to go for the in. Round the outside of the second chicane, ooh. Muddy goes.
Bit of a touch.
Breezy is really struggling on these tyres.
They're really struggling. How long has he been on them?
20 laps he's been on those hards for. He pitted under the safety car.
So did Milan, so did Sparks, so that's maybe why they're struggling a little bit.
Pre-Doubts
because they've been battling and all that as well.
To take the lead of this race, as long as he doesn't do anything stupid. Keeps it nice and tidy through Ascari.
Milan's got another penalty. He's on 6 seconds. Oh, Muddy Biscuit. Oh, Breezy slowed down his carnage through Ascari.
I think
Mercedes was caught up in it. Steffi as well.
Oh, Breezy has gone see-through. I don't know if he's having connection issues. I don't know if that's part of the issue they're having.
He's all slowed up on Ascari. I think Muddy just made slight contact with him and he just slowed in the middle of the corner, and because they were so close, caused damage. It's Produce.
I think it might be lag.
He's taking the lead.
I think Breezy's lagging because he's got according to my system, he's 1.5 seconds behind Hardy, but he got DRS.
Oh, what is going on? There's Magic Mark doing a late lunge on one of the Alphas. This is all. It's ridiculous. This is the lower end of top 10.
Yeah, Breezy is definitely having some lag issues here. This might cause mayhem. Mega Centurion's right behind him.
He's really struggling. His tyres have gone off the cliff. 20 laps is a bit too much. Dan gets himself a time penalty.
In that kerfuffle, we missed Predoubt's taking the lead of the race. Now in front by 1.1 seconds. That gap is close. He's got the safety net for his penalty to Lukey behind by 3/10. Got to keep it nice and safe now, and he's got the win.
Yeah, I'm still keeping an eye on this top 10 battle, which is ridiculous. There's cars lunging every which way and angle.
Steffi.
Oh, should have backed out of there, and Magic Mark unfortunately got caught up in all that. He stuck his nose in on the edge of a Ascari, and that,
Caesar Wizard
that
on the
gap was always going to close.
Caesar Wizard just took a dangerous down on the inside of the Parabolica. That was a risky move. Dangerous Dan's going to attack him back though on the inside of the first chicane. No, just got the gap. Oh, a little bit of a tap.
What a shame for Magic Mark. Innocent bystander in that.
That's the problem when you've got a division that's so close. When there's an incident, it's going to affect more than one driver.
I think Milan is struggling on his tyres. 22 laps. Same with Breezy. All those that put it on for hard. I think 22 laps is just a bit too much, as Breezy has gone off, I think. Puncher.
Right,
Puncher,
okay.
I think. Yep, Puncher. Oh, big Puncher. Looks completely ripped on my screen, actually.
So 22 laps is the limit of the hard tyres around here.
Makes me very nervous for Milan, because he's in the same situation and he's still got one more lap to go. And now, Mark, calm yourself down in the chat, please. There's no need for that. As Produce, if he's done it the hard way, I think, Cornish, but he's just been on it in terms of his pace tonight.
Yeah, it went for the two-stopper, pitted under the safety car. At one point, it looked like it was the wrong move, but he's proved us wrong.
Yeah,
Threaded his way through the field on those soft tyres beautifully. Kept it nice and calm. Did nothing stupid. Fully deserved to win on his debut. Although he's not crossed the finish line yet.
No, he hasn't done it yet. Hasn't done it yet. He's got to be careful not to get one more penalty, because if he gets another, then he will not be safe to Lukey for Ascari for final time. Breezy calls it an evening as well. It's just got Parabolic, and I don't think he's going to get a penalty there. Lukey's going to jump Milan.
And I think Muddy Biscuit's going to get the final step on the podium as well.
I think it'll be close to Milan.
It's going to be very close.
Reduz comes up Parabolica and takes the win in Monza. His debut victory for him. Lukey comes home
going to go
second.
The inside of Dangerous Dan at the Parabolica. And he makes the move. Fantastic move there.
Muddy did get third. Just ahead of Milan and Hardy. Then the two Alfa Romeo, Sparks. Dan, then Steffi in 10th. Or did Shrimper get 10th? I'm not sure.
Wow, what a race. Non-stop action there. We didn't have a minute to breathe.
Especially that last few. I did think it was all too close. There was a bit of argy-bargy there somewhere, but that's what you get when you have a competitive, close division. You're going to get the odd scrapes here, but I think overall, good entertainment for us.
Oh, fantastic entertainment. The majority of overtakes were lovely and clean. As you said, a couple of dodgy moments, but you expect that when they're so close. Especially around here.
Mm.
Pre-doubts against the fastest lap on those soft tyres. By a mile compared to anyone else.
He was on the softs right at the end, so Shrimper get 10th? I think he did.
No, Shrimper got 9th because of
Oh,
penalties
Shrimper
for
got
dangerous
9th.
Dan.
Nice. Dan ended up 10th. In terms of the championship, Lukey once again beat Muddy Biscuit, but only by a little bit. He only gains by 3 points. Gets the gap to 20. It would be going into Singapore. And Milan, solid result in 4th for the Ferrari.
Yeah, very
And
lucky
Hardy,
to get those hards to the end there.
Yeah.
Could definitely
Very lucky
physically
they
see he
must
was
have been.
struggling there on that tyre wear. So unlucky to miss out the podium, but fantastic drive on those hards.
That's obviously indication for any races later this week, Cornish. If you have a safety car in the first lap, it's very, very risky for the hards to get to the end there.
Yeah, I think Predout showed us how it should be done there. Pitting for the mediums, then the softs again. That seems like if you've got the pace and you can overtake, that seems like the go-to strategy to do.
Alfa Romeo 6th and 7th, Little Sparks 8th, Shrimper 9th, Dangerous Dan in 10th place. I think Dangerous Dan out of all of it was probably the most unlucky, apart from those that got caught up in the contacts, because he was right with Lukey and Muddy Biscuit, but just couldn't thread his way through like the other two did.
Yeah, I don't know if he got damage when Lukey dive bombed up the inside of Muddy Biscuit, and Dangerous Dan did get caught up in that, getting pushed to the outside, the exit of turn 2. So I don't know if he got a bit of damage there. That's maybe why he fell back.
Right, we have the top 3. We did. I don't know what happened to Lukey there. Sure, I had him for a second. I think there's something going on with his party or something like that. Maybe there's an issue. Yeah, put a tick in the box, include your audio produce. There we go. Yeah, there should be a box to tick to include your audio, so...
Yeah, sorry for the delay. We're just trying to get Lukey back into the party.
No problem.
Okay, we'll carry on without him for now. If I speak to Muddy, you speak to Produce?
Sure.
Cornish?
Yep.
Alright. Muddy, congrats on your 3rd place. Another podium to add to your list of growing podiums, it seems, in this season. Consistent and keeping out of trouble as always. And in a race like that, you had to use all of that skill and wise head to be, because that was a very competitive, very closely fought race, and a bit obviously building up as well, because of the safety car you decided not to pit as others did, which means you had to do the late comeback in the second half of the race on the fresher tyres, obviously bringing along Lukey and Dangerous Dan with you as well in your own little battle there. First of all, obviously, first question I would like to ask is, actually, were you considering pitting? Oh no, were you considering to stay out? The opposite.
I think I was always going to stay out on the first safety car. I knew it was probably too early. I think I probably would have been close to 80% tyre wear even after those hards at the end of the race. I think if the safety car maybe come lap 4, lap 5, I probably would have gambled by 4 lap 2 early, especially. And as we saw, I think a lot of those hard runs were struggling. Their tyre wear was.
Yeah. We're having an issue with a party at the moment. As I was saying, Yeah, of course, ended up in the battle with Lukey and Dan. Looked to be a little contentious moment into the first chicane. A little bit of a late lunge from Lukey there. Fortunately, did you get damage from that? I don't think you did, but
No, I didn't. But I don't know whether Luke happened to me sort of as he sort of went dive and sort of had to get his line back for turn 2. Whether I think he tapped me, which tapped me down. So I don't know whether.
it might have been. I think he realised into the braking and turning zone that he was either going to hit you or go for a move that may result in contact. So maybe it could have been that, but I'm definitely sure it wasn't malicious or anything like that. But in terms of result for your championship, obviously at this point, this stage of the season, you're in a battle with Lukey at the moment. Obviously, you have the advantage right now because he's chipping away a little bit, but your consistency seems to be holding him off for the time being. It's definitely a good battle though, and you've been on battling with him on track a few times as well this season. So you must be enjoying it anyway.
Yeah, it's been a good battle. I think even that race, I've sort of maximised what I could. Slightly always quicker than me. Throughout the race, I sort of stuck with him from DRS, but then after that contact, then I ended up out of DRS and just couldn't stick with him. Faster cars a lot. P3 was the best I could done today, so yeah, only to lose 3 points to Lukia. Like that, I think deal with it, and
yeah, gap would be 20 points in your favour going into Singapore next. A track very different to this week. Singapore can be a difficult track for most people. What's your thoughts heading into that?
I think it's one of my least favourite street tracks, but I think Singapore safety cars. I know there's always a chance of rain in Singapore. They could always spice it up. Sort of who can get maybe lucky as well, avoiding damage and.
Yeah, well, very well. Congrats on your podium. That is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th podium this season. So very, very well done. And yeah, long the battle may continue between you, Lukey, and Milan, because it could go down to the wire. At least I hope so. But yeah, well done this week, and good luck to next week in Singapore.
Predouts, congratulations on your win. If I'm not correct, that was your debut for RSF1. So what a way to start. In qualifying, you really did put the gauntlet down, setting a 18.4 in Q2 and Q3, which was bloody impressive. So well done for that. Off the start, though, you did lose position to Steffi, but that safety car came in and you were able to pit. And decided to pit for the medium tires, where everyone else who pitted around you pitted for the hards. I'm assuming in your practice, did you know that the hards wouldn't make it, so you went for the mediums, or you didn't feel like risking it for the hards?
Honestly, I didn't mean to put the mediums on. I meant to put the hards on, but the game flicked back to the mediums and put the mediums on my car. So,
well, I think the game did you a favour then, because when you then pitted for soft tyres at the end, you were absolutely rapid. You had your work cut out, but you made some beautiful overtakes. And while the people who did pit for hards around you started to struggle, we saw a puncher for a couple of the hard drivers, and Milan was really losing pace on his hards. So congratulations on that, mate. A real solid drive. How was it from your perspective?
Well, in the middle of the stint where I had pit on the mediums, initially I was very I was very worried, I'd say, because I had lost a lot of track position. I was worried I wasn't going to gain enough time if I was going to go back onto the softs initially, but once I went on the softs, I saw made a couple of overtakes. I found my pace, I found my footing, and yeah, I managed to catch up to the pack, and I got into the DRS. Managed my ERS as well. My tyres were really good. Yeah, so I managed to catch up to Milan, who was struggling the hards, and yeah, I managed to overtake him with the fresh softs. I think that played a key role at the end of the race.
Yeah, it was some beautiful overtakes. I did notice you'd got 3 seconds of corner cutting penalties, and if I'm correct, you were one warning off getting a 6 second. And if you had got that, you would have lost position. You would have fallen back down to second behind Lukey. Were you going a bit careful for the last few laps? Were you aware that you were only one warning off? Did that play into how you drove at all?
Yeah, 100%. I had to take it so much carefully, so much more careful. Because I didn't want to obviously get a 6 second penalty. I would have been conceded the position by about another 2 seconds. So I had to take it much more cautiously in order to make sure I secured the win.
Well, if that was your debut, mate, I can't wait to see what you can do for the rest of your RSF1 career. You've got Singapore coming up next. Is it a track you like?
Yeah, Singapore is one of my most favorite tracks. I just love the flow of I just love the flow of the circuit. It's just such a great track for me. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to watching you go around there, mate. See if you can get another win. Congratulations,
Thank you.
bud.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Cornish. And yeah, but on Predouts, how's it pronounced?
Predouts.
Predouts, okay. Yeah, congratulations, debut on RSF1, and yeah, long may your stay continue, because definitely very good. Kept the head in a very claustrophobic race that was. So
Thank you.
Yeah, very well done.
Thank you.
Good luck next week. Welcome to F2, Cornish. I'm guessing after that you want to do that again.
Yeah, that was 100% an interesting race. I didn't know quite what to expect coming into Div 2 because I hadn't actually managed to catch many of the races before. But wow, that was a race and a half. That was incidents throughout. Yeah. Look forward to the next one.
Yep, of course, a few things to be sorted out before F2 head on to Singapore, but definitely plenty of entertainment today. So thank you very much, all the drivers in that race. And yeah, they'll be heading to the daunting Marina Bay circuit next week at Singapore. As for this week, we have 4 more races to go at Monza. If the first race is only going to go by, we're on for a pretty interesting week. Next time tomorrow is the F3 division. News going into that, I'll leave that until tomorrow, actually. The people there will probably mention what that is, because there's a big change in the championship. Unfortunate big change, but it is definitely a big change in the championship race. So it will be noticed tomorrow by Alco Saints, and it should be Hudson tomorrow. Or we could see an appearance from RSF1 Lincoln or myself. Depends how it goes, but that's how it's meant to be. I'll be back in the comms box most definitely on the Tuesday for the F5 division with Rogue. Wednesday is the F1 division with Blazer and Hippo. And Thursday is the F4 division, where you'll be seeing Musical Rocket. And Lincoln is definitely doing that day because he's back up for like Monday, but his now full-time slot is on Thursday, so
which
that'll
I'm
be fun.
gutted because he's normally my race engineer for Thursdays. So
sorry,
disgusted.
His services are needed. Services are needed, so he's been called. But yeah, you'll be racing Cornish, of course, in a very tight F4 division championship. So.
Yeah, I lost my title
we'll
lead last week at Spa after an incident-ridden race, so I'll be aiming to get my lead back hopefully this week.
And I'll be aiming to not get disqualified this week and also get a point. So that's how my season's going so far. Just don't embarrass yourself, Michael. That's what you got to do. Anyway, yes, make sure you watch all of that, all 8 o'clock, of course. But until then, Cornish, thank you very much for your company.
Thank you very much, mate.
And that has been the F2 division. Until next time, take care, and yeah, see you later.